Hey.
Hey,
What's up?
Hey, you're out here in Chicago?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So you're a very busy person, but when you do have time, do you like to binge any shows?
Yes, recently I've been, all summer I just spent my time watching Netflix. So
Yeah.
what did I watch? I just watched Big Little Lies.
Okay.
Dear White People.
I heard that one's really good.
Yeah, it's really
Must
good.
Watch.
Yeah.
Must watch.
Yep. And Quantico
Oh, of
is
course,
a
Priyanka.
favorite. Yeah, love her. So
Yeah, gotta
that's what I've
support.
been watching recently.
So when you're not watching, you're doing a lot of different things,
Mhm.
starting with dance. Right?
Yep.
So you've been dancing since you were 5 years old.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I started dancing when I was 5. I started with classical Indian dance, actually. My aunt is a Bharatanatyam teacher, and so my parents, enrolled me in those classes to help me learn about my culture, and I went to the temple every weekend, to meet other people that were very similar to me. And then at the same time, my mom saw a studio by my house. She wanted me to be a little ballerina, so I did that as well, and then it just kind of expanded into other styles. I started jazz and tap and hip hop, and I started competing. So that's kind of how that all got started.
Wait, rewind for a second.
Sorry, really
So
quickly.
You did 5 different styles here. You were doing jazz, you're doing contemporary, you did ballet, you were doing Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam takes a really long time.
Mhm.
How long were you doing Bharatanatyam for?
So I started all of that when I was around 5, and I've just kept going. So Bharatanatyam, what now? Probably 17 years at this point.
17 years.
Yeah.
And so you took all these styles and then you compiled them together,
Mhm.
and now you were on So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah, it was
So
very
how did that-
exciting.
how did that come together, starting from 5 years old, doing all these different styles, and now you're here?
Yeah, so a big part of growing up doing kind of Western dance as well as Indian dance was that there weren't many Indians in the Western dance competition world.
Okay.
So, when I went to those, there weren't many people that looked like me or that came from similar family backgrounds. So I had a hard time fitting in once in a while, and my parents also had a hard time relating to it. They told me to stop every year because, a lot of other Indian kids are working on more academic extracurriculars, so they wanted me to focus on school, do that whole thing. So one thing that I kind of did to try to make it more accessible to them and to the Indian community was to combine, Western and Indian styles. So that's what I did, and So You Think You Can Dance was always a platform that inspired me growing up, and so I now got the chance to audition for the show, and I figured why not represent this style that very much represents my identity.
Yeah.
And how I've grown into a dancer, and so yeah, that's what I did.
So dance almost gave you a connection back to your culture now.
Exactly. Yeah, I think I became okay with being an Indian American and really understood what that meant through dance, just because both styles really give you a view into culture and to the background of those styles, where they came from, what communities participate in them, and so being able to combine them kind of gives me an idea of what my experience is.
Right.
And so now on So You Think You Can Dance, being able to share that with people is really cool.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about the process. That must be crazy. You have to look at producers, you must have auditions. What do you have to do?
Yeah, so the way it worked this year is, I submitted a video as the very first thing, and then we go there, we're vetted by the producers, and then you are filmed. And so I attended the New York auditions. There, we waited outside with thousands of other dancers.
Wow.
It was freezing, 10 degrees that day, and so yeah, I did my solo for them, and then I went to the choreography round, which was with Mandy Moore from La La Land.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she taught us choreography, and got to learn a routine from her and perform it. After that, I got a ticket to the Academy, which was in LA in May.
Okay.
And so for that, I performed another solo that was Indian contemporary, which is the style I auditioned with.
Right.
And then you have to go through several rounds of choreography so that they know that you're versatile and can do, what's required on the show. So that was hip hop, jazz, contemporary, ballroom, and a group round. So whatever. That was, you know, an entire week of
You
filming.
had to do all these different styles.
Mhm.
So this you must have really relied the fact on you learned these styles when you were 5 years old.
Yeah, I really had to, you know, bring back this toolkit of what I was
Right.
used to from before, because in the recent past I was in school and I was kind of only working on contemporary and you know, merging
Right.
Bharatanatyam and classical Indian styles with it. So yeah, it was challenging to jump into that when I hadn't really necessarily been working on that full time.
Right.
And there were a ton of really inspiring dancers there who
Yeah.
this is what they were dedicating their time to, right? And
Yeah.
they were professional dancers working full time on this. So yeah, it was nuts. But
What did you learn from this journey, this experience?
I think one thing that I learned, especially now that the show has passed, is
Right.
that I was going into it kind of to share, you know, my experience and my identity. But then what I saw was that there are so many other people who were kind of inspired by this and who
Yeah.
want to go, not even necessarily go into dance, but who, you know, they see a figurehead now that kind of looks like them and represents them. And there were so many people that reached out to me about that, and that was like the most, I cried at every single message pretty much, because, you know, I never saw myself like that ever. And so to have people look up to me in that way, or even see someone that looks like them on the show, was just really
Amazing.
remarkable.
I bet,
So
because you're representing all of us. We see you.
I'm gonna cry right now.
We see you on So You Think You Can Dance. You represent everybody, all of us brown kids. You're giving us a stage, a platform for just to see ourselves on.
Thank you.
So I guess what would you say to people right now who are in their bedrooms and dancing, and also were just you when they're 5 years old, wanting to be on So You Think You Can Dance and have this, you know, big dream of showing off what they can do?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely challenging and it's unconventional, and there are several hurdles, you know. But if you set your mind to it and believe in who you are
Yeah.
as a person, you know, like stay committed to who you are. You don't have to adapt to anyone else's style. You
Right.
can do what you do best, and
Yeah.
then show that to the world, and people will appreciate it because
Yeah.
you're just being genuine and you're sharing who you are and what you care about. And I think that goes a long way, in a
Right.
longer way than I would have ever anticipated.
Right.
So
And letting that shine through with your dance and having your own personality there.
yeah, exactly. So really just like taking pride in your own identity and then sharing that with the world. It's a scary thing, but it's really rewarding once it happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for people who want to check out, you know, everything that you've done with So You Think You Can Dance and any projects that are coming up now,
Yeah.
where can they go? What should they do?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Facebook, Ramita Ravi, Instagram, Ramita.Ravi, and on YouTube, also Ramita Ravi.
Great, you heard it there. All the links are in the description, so check out Ramita Ravi. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And good luck.
It was nice seeing you.